Pierce, Colden, and Bradley decided to team up to solve the Sarah Hawkins case. They have a new trial to follow. Francis Sanders, an art collector and friend of the painter who died right in front of Pierce. The detective goes to his house in order to speak to his widow about the Shambler. That the unfortunate man mentioned before he died. Uh, I'm really sorry for anything that I do that's abnormal. I just had surgery, clearly from the description of the video. Oh, this is gonna be a bit of a pain, solely due to the fact that I have a
What the hell was that?
good-sized glare. Oh shit, that didn't work. Nope, he knows where I'm at. No fucking way. Oh, yep. See, yep. There it is. Alright, let's skip this. We already watched that. Let's do eloquence. If you have any comments for me or anything that you would suggest, go ahead and let me know. Is it good that I read things? Is it bad?
What the hell was that?
Let me know what's going on. Oh, no. Oh, goddamn. This fucking cunt. really am just struggling a little bit.
What the hell was that?
Oh, come on, you didn't even fucking know. That's bullshit. That and that.
What the hell was that?
I fucking suck at this, apparently. Shit. I'd like to think I'm decent at video games.
What the hell was that?
Got a lot better on that one, for sure. Like I said, any sort of comments. Excuse me for a moment, sorry.
What the hell was that?
God damn it.
I can't even touch it. Damn. Did it hear that?
Nope, but it saw me.
Maybe I can use this dagger.
Doesn't matter. Apparently it does. Alright. Shit, I'm sorry. I'm in pain. I'll just have to find out which dagger, I
What the
suppose.
hell was that?
Sorry, trying to log on to YouTube. Oh. Alright.
Damn. Maybe I can use this dagger.
Alright. It is not that dagger. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to go through dagger by dagger.
What the hell was that? Maybe I can use this dagger.
Nope.
What the hell was that?
Oh, freaking wow.
Damn. Maybe I can use this dagger.
Am I not doing it right or something? It's not even attempting to stab. Can I help you, cat? Stay off that. Stay off that. Just come here and lay down. You are not a graceful cat, you know that? Ow. Fucking shit, cat.
What the hell was that? Damn. Maybe I can use this dagger. I can't even touch it.
Any suggestions, just go ahead and tell me.
What the hell was that? Yeah, maybe I can use this dagger. Damn it! This dagger didn't work. Damn it! I have to use a specific dagger.
Clearly. Found it. God damn.
This dagger looks different.
Does it now? took long enough. Holy cow. I'll be honest, I was very clearly struggling there.
What's the matter with you?
You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
Sanders was right. This painting is cursed.
What are you talking about?
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
You knew. You knew about the beast.
What are you talking about? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
The creature, this dagger, was the only weapon capable of pushing it back. If Hawkins was trying to get rid of this shambler, she might have made contact with Drake. This antique dealer has a good knowledge of the occult. I have nothing to lose by meeting him.
You've got your spunk back. Go where you want. I'm staying here to talk business with Irene.
Chandler turned out to be much more than an artwork painting by Sarah Hawkins, as a huge creature came out of the painting to attack Pierce. After a hard fight, the detective managed to send it back into the painting. He later discovered that the dagger he used to repel the creature had been sold to Sanders by a man named Algernon Drake, the owner of the nameless bookstore. Pierce decides to pay the library a visit. How's the struggle?
Where's the books?
It is in Francis Sanders' private gallery that Pierce discovers the identity of the Shambler, a huge artwork painted by Sarah Hawkins. When Pierce approached it, the creature burst forth from the painting and immediately chased after him. This beast from another dimension has such a hold on the mind of a person who finds himself in its presence that a simple glance in its direction is enough for Pierce to lose some sanity. Pierce finally managed to send the Shambler back into the painting. Using a dagger engraved with a strange symbol, but this encounter has left its mark on the psyche of the investigator. Still under the influence of the creature, he almost stabbed his own hand. Dagger of the Ancients. This exceptional dagger of Ottoman origin probably dates from the, hell, I don't know what century that is. It bears the Elder Sign on its hilt. It apparently belonged to Pasha, Grand Vizier of the Court of Swilman the Magnificent. Legend tells the Pergali used the symbol on the dagger to protect the court from a creature that haunted the mirrors of the palace. What is certain is that the Suleiman had his visor executed. Vizier? I don't even know. Did he fear him after this demonstration of power? Extract from Art and Mysticism, Francis Sanders' Forgotten Objects. You good, cat? Painting of the Shambler. This painting was exposed in Francis Sanders' gallery, but I think that the creature no longer requires it for movement. It went to hunt down Sanders in the cellars of the Riverside Institute. I do not know where it comes from, but one thing is for sure, it's starving. Did I succeed in sending it back to its world? I am not sure. Extract from the notebook of Edward Pierce, private detective. You good, cat?
Tell her. Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
The pastor declared himself to be the prophet. He renounced God and worshipped a strange pagan entity with a monstrous appearance. His wife tried to reason with her husband, but in vain. He was convinced that he must listen to this voice in his head because it holds the truth. Woot woot. Cat, what the fuck? Stop.
Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century.
This practical work, written by Sigmund Freud for psychologists, describes the techniques of analytical interpretation of dreams. The analysis must follow several rules, especially that that of free association, a principle announced by Freud at the end of the 19th century. It treats dreams as the way of revealing buried desires. I cannot believe that this theory is applicable to my nightmares. Oh, I cannot believe. My bad, my bad. Hoot hoot. Cat. Fuck off. Stop. You done? Oh. History of Darkwater, Volume 2. Puritan colony led by Reverend John Wigwood settled on the island during the 17th century. They named the island Darkwater because of the dark shades of the sea. They believed it was because of the peculiar color of the rocks surrounding the island. They erected the first buildings, among which were the Hawkins Manor, the church, and the cemetery. The rare documents and handwritten notes they left spoke of nightmares and deviant behaviors that disappeared at the beginning of the 18th century.
The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's Theosophical movement. Its followers placed truth on the same footing as a religion.
I'm okay. These Tibetan writings are the origin of the esoteric movement founded by Helena Blavatsky at the end of the 19th century. The creator of Theosophy would have drawn extensively on the text of this work, but no one has ever been able to consult them. I thought that they didn't exist. This book, discovered in the nameless bookstore at Darkwater, could be as much fake as irrefutable proof of Blavatsky's sincerity. Are you done? Even a few years back, it was possible for a single practitioner to know all the medical knowledge of his time. This book, which concludes the series, shows that this is now virtually impossible. About 10 renowned doctors took part in putting together this collection. As precise and illustrated as with as much detail as the first volume, this book focuses on healing surgery specific to malformations and motor disorders.
What happened here?
Not quite yet. History of Darkwater, Volume 4. In the 19th century, as the American whaling industry reached its peak in the rest of the world, whales gradually disappeared from the waters surrounding Darkwater. This phenomenon appears even more mysterious because, up until then, the region was a favored refuge for cetaceans? I don't know. In 1847, after months of pursuit, Scylla returns to port with a gigantic creature on its board. Its crew asserts that the sea monster had eaten all the disappeared whales. After a night of ferocious combat, the survivors managed to drag the beast on to the whaling ship.
Let's start over. Where did they break in from? Blood. Seems like amateur work. Someone tall left this footprint. A man, probably.
Are you done, Cat?
No sign of struggle. If the burglar smashed this jar, it wasn't intentionally. Was he hurt then? What killed all these animals? What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene? What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work? What the... Charles Hawkins? What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess? Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe.
Yes, she did.
Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case. What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
This key that bears in the Elder's sign is the only one able to protect your psyche. It is in the form of a cylindrical medallion hanging at the end of a heavy chain. Hundreds of years ago, the star and the branch whose power is to push back the forces of the great old ones were engraved at its center. Everything points to it being Charles Hawkins that tore it from its last owner, an Egyptian antique dealer. Impress cuttings that mention the misdemeanor, the date of the robbery coincides with the last of Hawkins' trips to Cairo. It remains to be seen whether he knows of the true purpose of the artifact. Try to find it.
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills? Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
Page seems to be hidden here. It is possible to read. If somebody finds these memoirs, there will be no doubt that I am in serious trouble. Oof. That hurt. My last and only hope is that my body and bones are still in this plane of reality. In order that they be recovered and burned, the funeral urn must be given to my dear mother, if she is still in this world. The following message is of capital importance. Whoever reads these lines and demonstrates acuity as sharp as mine can hope to gain access to my most precious possession. It lies within my safe, and the clues to the combination are found in 3 cylinders, each hidden where life and study combine with the Greek world. Each cylinder is numbered even, as if celebrated author says. Order is the pleasure of reason, but disorder is the delight of the imagination. Indeed, despite my preference for organized chaos, I must admit that reason usually prevails in the end. If by chance a person, or should I say a genius, was to match my intellect and find the combination of the safe, I would ask that they deliver its contents to the safekeeping of my friend and colleague, Professor Armitage of Miskatonic University. The content of this safe is not only a vast digest of knowledge, but also a weapon that is far too dangerous for it to fall into the wrong hands. I hope that you will be able to appreciate the danger that that this represents, and that you will act accordingly. In any event, I will neither be there to guide you, nor to suffer from your actions.
A strange amulet. I have a feeling I better not touch it.
Oh. Do not make the mistake of an object. Sorcerer, devourer of bodies of the Lang cult, a sect from Central Asia, lies in this jade amulet. His very characteristic form, a massive hunting dog, represents the transformation of a sorcerer into a man-eating ghoul. Whoever unearths the amulet and wears it around his neck is at risk of the sorcerer's wrath. The latter will return in the shape of a formidable hunter to track and dismember all defilers. Extract taken from that book. Okay. I know you miss me. My feet are cold.
Arkham editions. Never heard of them. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham Editions. Arkham Editions. Never heard of them. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham Editions. Arkham Editions. Never. How many volumes are there in this collection? Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them.
Let's do cylinder 1.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
That's it?
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny. Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Okay.
Drake talked about a particular... So these are the volumes that Drake... What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular... So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume.
Volume 9, 1908, 18 years old.
So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume.
Yes, he did it, and this was the one.
So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
1908. It's only 3 combinations.
What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about. What did Drake say about this collection?
'16th century. Volume 9. Damn.
Drake talked about a particular volume.
Each cylinder is numbered, even if.
So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
Hell, I don't even know. Oh. I feel like poop. And because of that, I think I'm going to, return to menu and call this a wrap. I've struggled enough on this.